Hello students. So here we are going to start with a very important topic, rolling loads and influence line diagrams for statically determinate structure. I repeat, for statically determinate structures, okay. And by seeing only the word rolling loads, so rolling loads means as we spell it, immediately we get a picture that some vehicle, right? Rolling means what are the rolling loads. So first picture we get as a whatever vehicle axial load, right? So when we see the bridges or flyovers, so it's a very important factor. Generally, in our civil engineering study, we are aware and we have studied only two types of. The basically we deal with the dead load and live load, right? These are the two types of loads we are aware. And these, what are the dead loads? Dead loads are the loads which they do not change their position, right? I think this basic knowledge you must be having. So dead load do not change their position during the life of the beam. So what are the dead loads? That is, it carries a self weight, okay, self weight of the beam. Dead load is a self weight of the beam, and it can be a slab weight also, right? Dead load is not, it can be slab weight or even the finishing load. So that is the dead load. And live load and loads which can change their position, like we human beings, so we keep on moving here and there, so we can, it can be considered as live load. And even the furniture, okay, we it keep on moving, so that is the, it can be considered as a live load. So weight of the person on the slab or beam, or weight of furniture, so these are all live loads. But when the bridges, bridge girders, they carry the loads which roll over them from one end to the other. So these are the, we can consider it as a moving load or rolling load. Now here, I want to tell you specifically that Indian Road Congress in its code of practice for road bridges, in section 2, it specifies different types of vehicular loads to be considered by giving the wheel loads, okay. So suppose if we consider the vehicle, even the load carrying vehicle, so sometimes we see a smaller truck or the bigger size. So some trucks carry lightweight, some trucks may carry a very heavy weight. So accordingly the corresponding load will be more, right? If we see a vehicular load, so there can be a simple car, it will carry a small load, right? So different types of vehicle will carry different types of load. And similarly, it's a really challenge to design such flyovers or bridges. But I really wonder the amount of traffic I see on the roads, and if the bridges or flyovers, if they are really of olden days, designed by olden days, so we never know when, because their capacity is not that much, how much load actually it's they are carrying now. So it's really, there are in India, there are so many bridges need to be they need inspection, and they need repair, and retrofitting work is very much required. So even railway engine, railway engine and train lodgings are also specified by railway bridge rules framed by the Ministry of Railway. So uh, now when we consider uh, what, as per our study, so we have considered till now a simply supported beam, we have considered a cantilever beam, or we have also considered a continuous beam, okay. So these are the types of beams we know, and we have analyzed it till now, and we have analyzed the frame also. So what is that we have analyzed till now? So suppose this is a beam, it may carry different types of loads, right? So for different types of loading, what does happen to these structures? So the basic forces because of any loading, that is axial forces, shear forces and bending moment, right? Axial forces, shear forces and bending moment, these are the basic forces act on the beam. So we are already aware of it. So when we know that for the constant loads, these are the axial force, shear force and bending moment, they act there. Now what is it that for various positions of loads, what is the maximum shear and bending moment due to moving load. Okay, so what is the maximum shear force and bending moment? Okay, so what is the maximum shear force and bending moment because of moving load? So this we calculate shear force and bending moment and axial forces because of the constant loads. So till now we have already covered these topics, but when moving load is there, so because of moving load on a beam or on a structure, bridges, okay, so we also need to find out what is that maximum shear force, bending moment, and even reaction. Okay, so how do we find out? So we actually plot the influence lines diagrams for them. Okay, so to identify the position of loads for maximum shear force and bending moment at particular section, then influence line diagram we can use. Okay, so for to draw for the moving loads, we show this shear force, bending moment, and reaction using influence line diagram. So we write it as ILD. In short form we call it as ILD, influence line diagram. Okay, now see this diagram. Here you can see a point load. Okay, a point load here, it is acting on the beam at this position. Okay, kindly ignore this above line. Okay, so this is the particular simply supported beam. Now here for this beam, now if we want to draw what is the bending moment at any point C. Okay, so for this particular beam we know that we have to calculate the reactions at support. Okay, and if there is some unit load, one unit load is acting at any point, okay, at this point, and there is some point C we have considered. So this is the bending moment diagram for ILD for moment. Okay, ILD, this is influence line diagram for moment at C. So first we will calculate the reactions, then this is the ILD for what is the moment, okay, at this point C, and we will calculate what is the corresponding ordinate. Okay, so here load is acting at this point, unit load, so corresponding ordinate, suppose let we can call it as O1. So this is the bending moment diagram, but for that corresponding ordinate at point 1 is this point. Okay, that is the O1. Okay, so we can say that influence line diagram for a stress resultant is the one. Okay, so influence line diagram for a stress resultant, for a stress resultant is the one in which ordinate represents the value. So it is nothing but ILD for a stress resultant is the one in which the ordinate represents the value of the stress resultant for the position of unit load. So this is the ordinate which represents the stress resultant for the position of the unit load at the corresponding point. Okay, so in this figure it represents the influence line diagram for moment at section C. Okay, moment at section C in the beam AB. Then the ordinate, this particular ordinate O, represents the value of bending moment at C when a unit load, okay, it is the value of bending moment at C for when a unit load is acting at 1 1. Okay, so hope this is the basic concept of influence line diagram, and it is clear to you. So influence line diagram, basically it is used to identify the position of moving loads for maximum value of stress resultants and for finding its the position and maximum value. Okay students, so hope the concept is clear to you, and thanks for listening.